organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up tonight on Daily Iowan TV,
a unique father-son business that will soon be bringing some new brews to the local bar scene.
And a tuition increase. Find out how much and when you can expect it.
Find out which Iowa athletes have had to battle their way back to the field.
That and more coming up tonight in sports.
All that and more coming up.
Daily Iowan TV starts now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Cole Johnson.
And I'm Nikki Crossway.
Charges were dropped for the case against former University of Iowa student Evan Pfeiffer, who spent 2.5 years in prison on sexual assault charges. Assistant Johnson County Attorney Ann Leahy said she dismissed the case against Evan Pfeiffer because his accuser decided she did not want to testify and relive the trauma of what happened to her. Pfeiffer was accused of raping a female student on the Penncrest lawn when she was a freshman in October 2010. A jury convicted him of third-degree sexual abuse in 2012, and he was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Pfeiffer said the sexual encounter was consensual, and he welcomed Tuesday's news as a step toward restoring his reputation and rebuilding his life.
Federal authorities and officials in South Carolina are investigating a video that has gone viral showing a school resource officer throwing a South Carolina high school student to the ground. The video shows the resource officer talking with the female student. All of a sudden, he grabs her by the wrist and is still sitting at her desk, struggles with her, and eventually wrestling her out of the seat and to the ground. The Richland County Sheriff said the girl is causing a disruption in class. The resource officer asked her repeatedly to leave the class with him, but she refused. The resource officer seen the video has been identified as Ben Fields. The Richland County Sheriff's Office said Monday the Fields would be placed on administrative duties pending investigation in the incident.
Tuesday afternoon, the Hillary for America chair John Podesta stopped by the Hillary for Iowa organizing office in downtown Iowa City to speak to and meet with supporters and volunteers of the campaign. Podesta gave a short speech about Clinton's goals and what she would do for Iowans.
She wanted to project to the American people that she would fight for them every day to make their lives better, and she began that journey here in this state.
He also focused on how important the week leading up to the caucuses will be for small offices like this in Iowa City. Following his talk, he opened it up to questions and comments about the campaign in general and met with supporters afterwards.
It looks like the tuition freeze in Iowa is over. It's been 2 years stretch, and the Regents universities of the state of Iowa have enjoyed a tuition freeze. ISU and UNI will both face an increase in tuition starting in the spring of 2016. Andrew Roberts is here in the studio with more details. Andrew?
The latest controversy taking place on the campus of the University of Iowa arose last week during the Iowa Board of Regents meeting. On October 21st, the Board of Regents met here in Iowa City and offered up a new proposal that is upsetting UI students. And this time it has nothing to do with Bruce Harreld, but rather tuition costs. The Regents' most recent meeting called for a vote to increase tuition at the UI by 3% next school year, a number that ISU and UNI will see next semester.
The baseline for talking about this is really undergraduate resident students. The determination of the 3% really was taking a look at the HEPI index, which is the higher education index, over what they are projecting for fiscal year 2017, which is what we're talking about as we come into the future.
While the proposed increase in tuition may have some students shaking their heads, members of the faculty board and the admissions department think the change might be necessary.
Well, I think we do need more resources. You always hate to see it come up, on the backs of your students, but at the same time, I think we were very thoughtful in putting together what the increase would be and how we were going to use that to serve the students that are here at Iowa.
The Iowa Board of Regents will vote on the 3% tuition increase for next school year during a telephonic meeting on December 2nd. Reporting from the University of Iowa, I'm Andrew Roberts for Daily Iowan TV.
An Iowa-based company has agreed to pay $1.1 million in fines to settle federal environmental violations and ensure safety at 6 plants in Iowa, Kansas, and Wisconsin. Barton Solvents, a chemical company that mixes and transports chemicals for customers in the printing, coating, and cleaning industries, was fined by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency for hazardous waste storage and spill prevention regulation violations. Barton President Dave Caston says the company doesn't agree with all the EPA's allegations, but has made several improvements and is cooperating with the agency.
Iowa prison officials are drafting a policy addressing the treatment of transgender inmates. Just a week after California prison officials set a precedent for granting funds for sex reassignment surgery for inmates, the committee here in Iowa is also considering whether to pay for the same surgery. Governor Terry Branstad did not indicate if he would support using state funds for sex reassignment surgery for transgender Iowa prisoners. The policy is expected to become final in 2 to 3 months.
October is almost over, a month famous for celebrating craft beer festivals like Oktoberfest, but a new business in Iowa City promises to keep beer enthusiasts happy all year round. Maria Palladino has the story.
Drew Letcher is adding some finishing touches on the bar in his new Iowa City brewery.
I knew Iowa City didn't have a brewery, so I kept my eye on it. Thought it would be a great location. It's like, why doesn't Iowa City have a brewery?
But Letcher isn't the only one preparing the business for opening day.
Nathan is my son, so this will be a father and son team.
Nathan's background in biochemistry is the reason the duo began brewing beer at home years ago. Since then, they've been immersed in the science of beer. This scientific background inspired the name Iowa City Brew Lab and the furniture that will go inside. These science tables and stools will be placed by the bar, towards the back of the brewery, and by the front windows. Outside on the back patio, German-style benches will be placed in the beer garden. But Drew says the brewing area is their most exciting venture.
Construction has been going on since the middle of the summer. Once the construction's over, right by these tanks is where Drew and Nathan are going to be spending most of their time.
This area contains the fermenters, a brew kettle, a hot water tank, and mash tun. It's where the co-owners will make their high-quality beer using fresh and homemade ingredients. Students who live above the brewery on Washington Street have a quick trip to the brew lab to get their taste buds on some fresh-made beer.
Me and my roommates are really excited about it. It's going to be really nice to have something very close and convenient for us, but something that also is kind of not typical of downtown Iowa City.
Iowa City Brew Lab will be open by November 1st with beers like the duo's own creations, IPAs, and seasonal flavors. Maria Palladino, Daily Iowan TV.
I don't know about you, Nikki, but I am tired of this rain.
I am too, Cole.
Let's toss it over to Andrew and see if it's going to stick around. Andrew?
Guys, I couldn't have imagined a more awful day for the weather, and unfortunately today won't be the only day this week with rain. Looking at Wednesday morning, the temps will continue to stay cool in the upper 40s with cloudy skies looming over us. As we roll into the afternoon, you can expect the temp to rise up just a bit into the low 50s, but the clouds will be here to stay. Closing out your day on Wednesday, the temp will drop down to a chilly 41 degrees, so have your fall outfits ready. Moving on to the rest of the week, Thursday and Friday, the clouds will be ever present, and so will the cold weather, with temps in those days hanging in between the upper 30s and low 50s. Unfortunately for Hawkeye fans, the weather in Kinnick on Saturday will be much like it was today, with rain and cool weather, so bring out your rain gear when heading to the game. Finally, some good news. Sunday, the sun will be out, and the temps will be back up with a high of 65 degrees. And starting out next week, the temps from Sunday will carry over with sunny skies and a high in the mid-60s. So be sure to enjoy the fall weather while it lasts. That's all I have for you today in the Weather Studio. Back to you at the desk.
One of the 46 people injured when a driver crashed into a homecoming parade at Oklahoma State University this weekend is expected to be released from the hospital Tuesday. 12-year-old Iowan Campbell suffered a broken leg and a concussion, cuts, and road rash after he was hit in the Saturday morning incident. Campbell will have to go through physical therapy, but hopes to be walking in 4 to 6 weeks. Campbell has been visited from OSU football players, and his friends. Adacia Chambers, the driver of the car that crashed into the crowd, was arrested at the scene and is being held on a $1 million bond. She has not officially been charged, but is expected to face 4 second-degree murder counts.
The United States is considering new strategies to fight ISIS. The plan focuses on 3 R's to break the stalemate. The first is to increase raids by following more ground action and airstrikes. The second is to put pressure on Raqqa, a city in Syria, so the U.S. can help Syrian forces fight ISIS in the area. The third R stands for Ramada, which will involve assisting Iraq forces when taking on ISIS.
Nikki, I am so excited for the football game on Saturday.
Yeah, me too, Cole. Let's toss it over to sports and see what's up this week.
Thanks, Nikki and Cole. University of Iowa athletes constantly exemplified their fight for Iowa both on and off the field.
That's right, Zach, and we'll take a look at an Iowa soccer player's journey as she fought her way back to the field.
But before that, we'll see how the Iowa football team is battling their injuries. Sports reporter Taylor Brooks is in studio to tell us more.
Coming out of a bye week, a team can only hope it was a productive one. As for Iowa football, not only was the bye week productive for the younger players who were able to get up to speed on certain aspects of the game before the second half of the season, but also the week off was a time for players to get healthy again. Good news, that's exactly what happened for some. But on the other hand, there are still some players we won't be seeing on the field.
A surprise that came to most at Northwestern was that wide receiver Tavon Smith was back in the lineup. Not at 100%, but getting there. As of now, he is back at that 100% and is starting against Maryland.
On the positive side, we should get back to Tavon Smith. You saw him play a little bit in our last ball game. He's practiced really well. He's full speed again.
As for defensive end Drew Ott's season-ending injury against Illinois, he has gone through surgery, and Kirk Ferentz claims it went well.
He's in the process right now, starting some rehab work and moving forward. Certainly, as I said before, we're all feel badly for Drew, and just sorry to see him miss the rest of this season.
The running back situation is another that many people are questioning. Jordan Canzeri will not return this week due to his ankle injury at Northwestern. Akram Wadley is number 1. Behind him is Derek Mitchell Jr. And third, LaShawn Daniels Jr. He makes his way back from an early season ankle injury as well.
He's looking better, certainly, so that's been refreshing, and hopefully he'll look good again tomorrow, walk away healthy, and then, we'll play all the guys. Just based on recent history, we'll probably need everybody.
Not mentioned was offensive tackle Boone Myers. He will be getting back into the rotation on the offensive line on Saturday, but as Coach Ferentz puts it, they want him in the game and to get him through the game. Mark and Zach, back to you.
Thanks, Taylor. It's definitely good news whenever an athlete can bounce back after an injury.
Yeah, that's right. And one senior on the soccer team knows plenty about rebounding from a difficult experience. Daily Iowan soccer reporter Katie Reber has the full story.
One name many Iowa soccer fans are familiar with is Brooke Backus. However, a lot of fans probably don't know about all of the adversity and experiences this player has had. I sat down with the senior leader who dished to me about everything from how she started the game to where she is now.
I started playing soccer when I was like 3 or 4 in the dad's club rec leagues. And I did that probably until I was 10-ish.
Sticking with the sport she loves proved to be beneficial for Brooke as it took her many places.
I'm from Indianapolis, so I played on a ECNL team, so we traveled all over the U.S.
Eventually, her passion for soccer landed her in black and gold, but before she got her big break as a Hawkeye, she was dealing with another break.
The biggest reason I chose to come here, I came on my recruiting visit here fall of my junior year, and I was playing high school soccer at the time, and the weekend after my visit, I broke my leg in high school soccer.
Unfortunately, Brooke's injury was not minor, and her future soccer career seemed to be in jeopardy.
It was a really horrific break. It was in a soccer game when it happened, and so yeah, I have like a rod through my leg now.
Despite the severe injury that would sideline Brooke and potentially end her soccer career, previous head coach Ron Rainey had a different goal in mind.
After it happened, Ron called me and offered me my scholarship still, and he was like, "I'm confident you'll come back," and all this stuff. So I thought it was like a true test of his character that he still had faith in me and wanted me. So I was like, he's a good guy. I want to be a part of his program.
And getting the opportunity to put on the black and gold uniform is what motivated Brooke throughout her recovery.
I needed to recover because I was coming to play D1 soccer within a couple of years. So, there was never a question of if I was going to come back and play soccer. It was always, yes, I'm recovering to play soccer again, just as I had before.
Number 4 has definitely made her mark as a Hawkeye and has enjoyed doing so.
Honestly, it's the people. It's never about where you are, it's who you're with. And these girls, you automatically get thrown together, and within a month, everyone becomes best friends, and it's awesome.
Brooke Backus will play her final game in black and gold here at the Iowa Soccer Complex on Wednesday night as her and her team take on Rutgers. This has been Katie Reber, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Backus has definitely become a major contribution to the team this season, along with the other 3 seniors.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for sports this Tuesday, but be sure to tune in Wednesday for a look at all the Iowa sports that will be in action this coming weekend.
Nikki and Cole, back to you at the desk.
With November on its way, the holiday season is just around the corner, and the largest shopping day, Black Friday, is just a few weeks away for thousands of stores. Black Friday is their biggest sale day of the year, but a popular outdoor retailer, REI, announced Monday that they will not be open for it this year. REI joins Patagonia in a list of other retailers that chose to stay closed during the holiday. Jerry Stritsky, the president and CEO of REI, said he wanted to encourage employees to enjoy the day off by doing something outdoors with their families. He said there were even some tears when employees learned they would be able to spend Thanksgiving and the following day with their families as a paid holiday.
Wow, I can't wait to spend the holiday with my family.
I can't either. And well, that's all we have for you tonight on Daily Iowan TV.
Be sure to check out our website, dailyiowan.com, for all the latest news between now and Sunday. For Daily Iowan TV, I'm Nikki Crossway.
And I'm Cole Johnson. Have a good night.